Hey there, Al Iverson here. It's time for another one of your email authentication and deliverability questions answered. Today, the topic I want to tackle is this. Where exactly does a BIMI email sender logo show in the inbox? Let me explain. Now, when we're talking about BIMI, I'm referring to brand indicators for message identification. It's an email logo standard that lets email senders put their brand or company logo in a specific place, usually next to the inbox in mailbox provider user interfaces. There are some requirements that go along with that. It starts with publishing a text record in DNS with a link to a specific type of image formatted a certain way. But there's some stuff that you need to do on top of that as well. All mail must pass email authentication checks. Goes without saying because one of the requirements there is that you must implement and publish a DMARC record with a policy of at least quarantine. So you've got to have a policy there of quarantine or reject, meaning that you're telling the world that, hey, I authenticate all of my email messages. And so if you get email that purports to be from me, but doesn't pass those authentication checks, don't deliver that mail to the inbox. And finally, there is a certificate, a verified mark certificate that you can purchase from a certificate authority, and that helps verify who you are and is one of the requirements that is necessary for BIMI to get the logo to have the broadest reach possible. Not every mailbox provider requires a VMC, but most of them do. And there's also the alternate CMC, the Common Mark Certificate, is a backup way to publish and get verified for your sender logo if you don't have a trademark. That one, that CMC, is allowed only at Gmail specifically. So there's your requirements there. You've got to do a few things beyond just publishing a logo. A lot of people do just publish a logo in DNS, and that might show up on Fastmail and Yahoo if you have a good sender reputation and you're doing things right. But if you want the broadest possible reach, you need to purchase that verified mark certificate. Now, there are a bunch of different mailbox providers that support BIMI, more than a dozen of them. Here's the list. If you go to the BIMI Group website, you can find the latest version of this list. And as you can see, there's a lot of them located all around the world. The biggest ones, in my estimation, being Google, Apple, and Yahoo. Let's narrow it down a little bit to US-focused mailbox providers. Now, this is a bit hand-wavy in that some of these providers are active all over the world, but I'm really focused on what I see as common hosts of email inboxes in the US. That's Yahoo, Gmail, Apple's iCloud, Fastmail, Comcast, and CloudMark. And specifically, keep in mind that Yahoo is not just Yahoo. They're kind of a big deal. They host mail for Yahoo with more than 50 different Yahoo domains. AOL is now part of Yahoo. They've got a bunch of domains specific to AOL as well. AT&T, their webmail seems to be branded as Currently right now, but they have a bunch of domains that are also hosted by Yahoo Mail. So AT&T Mail is effectively Yahoo Mail. And Yahoo hosts mail inboxes for a whole bunch of other providers as well. Verizon.net, Frontier, Rogers, Sky, Cox Cable, and a bunch more. Also, in the future, Comcast is transitioning their email inboxes over to Yahoo Mail. So if you have a Comcast.net email address, at some point within the next year, I think that mailbox will actually be hosted by Yahoo Mail. Now, I'd love to show you some real-world examples of what a BIMI logo looks like in the inbox at different mailbox providers. Before we do that, here are a few things to keep in mind. For some senders, they're going to show a blue checkmark in Gmail. That's how Gmail identifies that a sender has a VMC and has been verified through that process. Yahoo has a similar green checkmark that they will show if they have verified that the sender is legitimate as well. Now, keep in mind that with my screenshots, your mileage might vary. Browser zoom, mobile device font size, dark mode versus light mode, all of these and other things are going to affect email rendering and the email inbox user interface. So you might see something slightly different than what I see here. Also, BIMI logos and sender logos and Google account avatars and Apple Business Connect, there are multiple ways to do sender logos. BIMI is the standard, it's the future, it's the best way to do it, but there's alternate ways too. And so my apologies in advance if I got any one of them wrong and maybe I'm showing off the wrong type of logo. My goal here overall is just to show you where a BIMI logo would potentially go in all of these different user interfaces. And if you want to mock up how your own logo would look if you implemented a BIMI logo, you can use our BIMI simulator. It's a free tool, a free feature that's available to all ValoMail users. And you just plug in your logo, upload the graphic, whether that be an SVG or a PNG or a JPEG or whatever, and we'll give you a little mock-up, a couple of simulated screenshots to show what your logo might look like if you implement BIMI. Here's what a BIMI logo looks like in the inbox in Yahoo Mail on the web. Here's what it looks like on mobile. This is the iOS Yahoo Mail client. Now, AOL, it's part of Yahoo, but it has a slightly different user interface. Here's what a BIMI logo looks like in AOL Mail. You can see it doesn't show BIMI in the folder view. It just shows the logo only when you click open an email message. AT&T is another platform hosted by Yahoo Mail. As I said before, it's called Currently from AT&T. Here's what a BIMI logo looks like there. Very, very similar to the Yahoo Mail setup. Gmail on the web, it doesn't show the logo in the folder view next to all of the email messages when you're looking at the webmail version of Gmail. But when you open a message and that sender has BIMI set up and working properly, you're going to see the logo right there, just to the left of the from address and friendly from. Gmail on mobile. This is the Gmail app on iOS. In dark mode, you can see the logos show up in both the folder view and when you open a message to look at and actually read it, you see the logo there right next to the sender name. You can see the blue check mark there for NPR. They've got a VMC in place. Apple. Not everybody realizes this, but Apple does have webmail for iCloud. You can see some samples there looking at both the folder view and message view. Apple also has support for another type of logo via Apple Business Connect. Those show up in squares or squares with rounded corners. Sometimes it can be a bit confusing to tell what kind of logo I'm looking at, but I'm pretty sure that that NPR logo there, that's a BIMI logo. Apple Mail on mobile, on iOS. You can see here, there's a mix of stuff going on. Whenever you've got a square with rounded edges, the logo might actually be an Apple Business Connect logo and not a BIMI logo. Apple iCloud does have support for BIMI, and this is where those logos would show up right there. Fastmail. Fastmail was one of the early adopters of the BIMI logo standard, and they show it right there in a couple of different places. They show it in the list of messages right next to the sender name, and then when you click open a message to read it, they show it right next to the sender name and email address there as well. And on mobile, Fastmail's got a mobile app. Here's the iOS version. Same deal. You see the logo in the folder view right next to each message. And when you open a message, you see it right near the top, right next to the sender information. And that's everything I've got for you today. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to drop me a line with your feedback, you can always shoot me an email at al.iverson@valomail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at valomail.com when you're ready to embark upon your DMARC journey.